as their second pick. So definitely valuing the Nymphora here when it comes down to their response pickup here by
Yeah, they
Justice
just
League.
don't
So,
want them to get that Nymphora Pebbles combination.
okay. So more of a we take away from you than anything.
Mm.
Welcome back
So
though.
it's also really powerful with Scout
Hmm.
because you basically just run Scout around and Nymphora can TP with pretty much anything. They go the CD. I like that choice. I really am not surprised that hero will probably have. I don't expect to see CD get past the initial 3 picks very often
Yeah.
in this new meta game phase. This Hantor part at least.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it seems like he's definitely amongst the other heroes that he did receive buffs, so kind of understandably so. The conduit did get buffed up quite a bit, I think it's safe to say, and maybe if anything, that's what's really brought some attention to him. But Dampier, the response though, this is definitely looking like a aggressive team in the making here, especially with that Nymphora Dampier combination coming out by Justice League. So you like that carry choice for them?
Um, I like it. It's a really powerful hero, and it actually makes a lot of sense against the lineup that it looks like Lions is going to run because
Yeah.
it's going to be a dual mid, a suicide, and a CD short, and that's something Lions does quite often, where their lanes are just really predictable. So DCX fairly predictable as well, but at this point, there's really not much Lions can do about it. They're going to put Nymphora Dampier short lane, and as long as their mid doesn't feed, Nymphora Dampier with the scout, looking around, he can have a Blink Dagger plus Grimoire combo maybe like 16, 17 minutes in, and you just kill everything with Nymph TP when that happens. So I like both teams' drafting philosophy thus far. I think if DCX had gone for the more standard, okay, you got a jungler, we'll get a jungler, they would have just lost straight up. But
Yeah.
I like the method they've chosen to go.
Yeah. All right. So moving on with the bans, the final ban going to be coming out here by Justice League. Let's see what they end up going with. They already went with Lodestone and Pyromancer so far. Fade, Parasite, and Reality were those 3 bans, final bans from Lion Esports Club even. Anything coming out to you for Justice League with this final ban?
I'd probably ban the Aluna
Yeah.
just to give that mid lane a little less strength. They also have to be thinking about what hero they're going to pick. Actually, no, I'm banning War Beast here. I'm looking at War Beast or Bubbles as my ban.
Yeah.
There really aren't that many good suicides left. Pharaoh is pretty bad, so it's pretty much between Bubbles, Hag, War Beast, Wild Soul, maybe even a Plague. But Jonas is most known for playing Bubbles, and that will be what they take if they leave it. So that'd probably be my choice.
Yeah. Well, using a lot of extra time here to make sure.
Not quite sure why. I mean, they know their heroes, so it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah.
Like he should know exactly what their next 2 picks are going to be. I am imagining it's going to be like Mag or Meraxis or Deadwood +1 mid. MOA is a decent ban, but I mean, I think a snap pick Tort is incoming or snap pick Bubbles or Luna. There's no real other options. And DCX, they've got a few choices here. I'd like to see them maybe put 2 range mid. There's the Luna. Probably going to be a Bubbles last pick, almost for sure. So I think Tort's pretty safe, and then you could potentially go 2 range, but I think you got to go Tort here.
Yeah. For Justice League, you're talking about, yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I like their lineup, but I feel like the heroes Lions have are just going to be decidedly stronger mid. Aluna Pebbles, and that's pretty much what you're matching up right now to the heroes on Hellborn. So there's the Tort as expected. Probably going to see a Meraxis. That's what I would guess, but could be wrong.
So what, DCX's final pick? You thinking the Bubbles
Yeah.
here and then
Bubbles here, Meraxis, final pick.
Meraxis. All right. Interesting. We'll see if that comes out here for them. What would you think? No, yeah, that wouldn't be possible. I was going to say, there's still the Devo option, but obviously with the lane setups currently, wouldn't make sense for Lion Esports Club over here. But there is the Bubbles, yeah. Ending as expected, is safe to say, for Lion Esports Club. Just a very well put together lineup in the end.
Very standard.
Yeah.
It's like the typical Lions lineup. The one thing that I note is they did decide to first pick Tempest, and they left Scout, so DCX kind of just could counterpick. But they don't really have the greatest anti-Tempest lineup. Like one of the things I love to do is if you can get Scout and you're playing a Tempest and you just go Parasite, I feel like you get a huge advantage. There's a Miraxis pick. So as expected, both lineups are pretty much as good as they could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're pretty much maximized to the best of their abilities for both squads. Now it's just come down to who plays better. Keys to the game are just going to be how much experience does Bubbles get, who wins mid, and how well do they shut down Tempest's jungle.
Yeah.
And those three factors will decide who wins. I'd say whoever can take the advantage in 2 of the 3 will take the early mid-game phase and probably the win.
Who knows after last game, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
last game, 73 minutes eventually. Again, just back and forth play with both teams. Seemed like Lions would pull ahead, and also Justice League would then get us a couple picks and make it work for them, and then it just would not stop, man. And for good reason. Those games definitely entertaining, so like seeing that. But here we are again, game number 2, Justice League up the 1 game to nothing now. Here in this best out of 3. Right off the bat, both teams sending pretty much a full squad to the bottom lane. Look at Torture, still back at base actually, but he has a 2 revs he purchased and going to be joining them eventually. But both teams very likely going to be meeting one another. Obviously, Legion team having the Tempest, especially going up against a Scout. You want to try to box this out as much as possible here, but this is a pretty good level 1 team here on the Hellborn side at the same time. I guess on both sides they have some potential, but yeah, they're going to see each other, say hello. Lions may try to make a flank cap in, but N4 is going to spot them. And so that'll be spot off as more axes actually charges in, throwing out some axes right there, so he does not have his Quake stun, obviously. And now he starts falling back. A power throw hits a couple. So some poke damage coming out here, but the big picture, though, they do fight off DCX from getting any wards down initially. So that's definitely a one battle right there you could say about Lion Esports Club. How long that'll last, though, is probably not for long, as here comes Scout now. Here comes Scout with the Vanish, so he doesn't go Electric Guy, but he goes to Vanish. He does have 2 revs and 2 Order Sights on him. So Tempest will still most likely have a good amount of his jungles blocked here. Start things off, so. That's Scout for you, though. Oh, and he's going to
counter the ward, too.
That is
yeah,
big.
that's big. If he scouts it out, he may not, however.
Yeah, that's true. If he scouts it out. Huh. Find myself doing that a lot.
If he runs up, he'll get it. And it looks like he's not going to run up. That sucks for him. He's still got 2 real wards as well. He'll see it now.
Did he?
He definitely did.
Yeah, he definitely did that with the uphill there. He's going to go over here. What is that? Oh, interesting, actually, in this bottom rune area. So not going to block another camp, at least just so he's still more to sight.
I don't know. This also gives Tempest, like, if you could pick any 2 camps to start as a Tempest, these are the ones you're going to want because you, in essence, can get 4 spawns very, very easily. So he's going to block the pull, but, I mean, Hanske did a good job. I mean, he'll just farm this camp twice and stack. Well, he's going to know it doesn't stack, but
yeah,
it'll come out pretty even. Mid lane, Pebbles going that double stat build with Hatchet Shield. And this lane's going to be really the key to the game. Miraxis and Pebbles are both the type of heroes that are just much better with Blink Dagger than without. So it's just going to be huge. And up top, them doing a decent job keeping out Bubbles thus far, but he's also taking some heavy harass, so he's actually forced to heal a little bit.
Yeah, needs to be careful with that. See Bubbles trying to get some good pressure, but Dampier cuts him off.
Yeah, they are going to lose lane control off this, though, and the pull is unstacked. So already Jonas and Fan doing a good job up top.
What do you think about Jonas Fan as a player, by the way? Center was making the point he thinks he's one of the better Suicide players in HON right now. He seems like a pretty solid player for his team. I
think he's definitely very good, but I'm not sure. I think he's one of the best Suicide players, and he dies actually here to employ Cast his Curse. I don't think he is as good as like forums and occasionally you make him out to be, because like people are putting him in like top 3 category for solo playing and stuff like that, and I just don't think that that's even close to accurate. But he's definitely solid, and he's somebody who's improved a lot, but I still feel like he's got a lot of weaknesses, as he just demonstrated there. Dying in one of the very, like, I don't know, Nymphoria Dampier level 2. It's pretty hard to die in that situation, so he had to have misplayed. So. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, again, it caught that kind of halfway through, so I'm not exactly sure how it played out, but yeah, Nymphoria Dampier, not the most threatening, especially at that level 2 mark, and just especially against the Bubbles with a big escape mechanic, so
Unfortunate for Jonas fan right there. He's going to go aggressive, though. He does have an Invis Luna coming in, and this is going to catch him, a boy off guard. Take cover, comes out Pirates of the auto attacks. They will get the kill. He tried to flight right there, or terror, actually, at the last second, but no, that was flight. But anyways, he goes down.
Yeah, that's a huge kill. And that all starts because Nymphora was stacking, and he's going to stack the hard camp, but not the pull. See, this is something I feel like DCX just kind of showing their inexperience, because you stack the pull, and now Nymphora gets farm, Bubbles gets less farm. You stack the hard camp, you do nothing. So, just really poor usage of time there by Tilla. But Bob, Scout's doing a pretty good job. He blocked a lot of Tempest's camps, but he used the counter wards, and Hanskin actually didn't buy any counters. So I would see that as a little mistake, but it's not going to hurt them as much because there's Wild Hunters in the only camp he has left to farm, and because it blocked past 3 minutes versus when you place them early and it lets that 3 o'clock camp spawn.
Yeah. Speaking of that, gets his Amulet of the Exile right there, so on his way to the Ring of Sorcery, of course, going the bottle build here as well, taking up from my nuts. As far as that Tempest jungle goes. Corrupted Disciple, I'm sure he's coming along, and again, this is Fuzi here, so Fuzi playing the carry role once again here. So 2 Maces, that is Fuzi, from my understanding, currently trying out with Lions. As a new 5th, as instead of the Pee-wee, of course, was it for cycle number 3. So, but yeah, he's having a good time. 21-6 down here against that 10-2 Scout. Dampier, a little bit different of a story. Obviously, he got the initial kill with the Bloodlust kill, but he did die after that. So kind of back and forth there. But the GPM still kind of speaks for itself. 362 gold per minute. I think Imba Boy's pretty happy with the start overall. When it comes down to it, Jonas fan level 4, but you do see as soon as he gets into the lane, Dampier kind of playing like he might have thought about charging right there. So gets him to play a little passive. Middle lane matchup, always an important one. Pebbles 22-3, Moraxis 16-3. So Pebbles does have the slight advantage there, and actually the haste room bottled up. So you could tell DCX playing pretty passive as a result of that. Not wanting to give them any easy opportunity in terms of going in for a kill. Scout coming in right here, blocking this camp with that Electric Eye. And now he's going to block another one. Yeah, he's going to block this one as far as when it ends up dying. Yep. So,
and he's doing a really good job here because a lot of scouts, for some reason, they don't do this. They just be soaking up experience. But shutting down Tempest is really the most effective way he can have a role in this game.
Yeah.
And he can steal a couple elemental CS too, which is probably more gold for him than other sources. And now he can actually, see if he can do this and just shut down Tempest's ability to jungle, it's really big. But he's getting outplayed a little bit, as you can see. He might actually, he actually got really outplayed there. But it slows Hanskin down, and blocking the spawns is a big deal. But obviously could be doing better, but he's doing a lot better than most scouts I watch. And he already has 13 CS too, so he's doing a great job, honestly, against the CD.
Yeah. Not too bad, not too bad. Overall, stats advantage are in favor of Lions, but once again, as we saw last game, it only means so much in the end. Zeal Stun, nice take cover from Jonas Fan to avoid that Zeal Stun from connecting. Not the hardest thing to avoid, obviously, but still a good job of that, and we'll go back to the lane just fine. Again, kind of just a quick recap right here, guys. This is qualifier number 2, so the winner of this series here from the semifinal matchup going to be moving on to the group stages. Qualifier 1, Stay Green. Of course, that's why someone else Kokast in here, and then Team USA also qualified as far as qualifier 1. Then there's 2 Southeast Asian teams so far, and DC Fabulous and Orange Esports are also going to be joining the group stages. We got 3 more qualifiers left, including this one from North America, Europe. Then we got the 1 more from Southeast Asia, and then ultimately 12 teams will be coming together in the group stages to compete for $20,000. Anyways, here we go. Middle lane, the haste rune activated. Trying to go to Torturer, not the best though. Stalagmites whiff. We do see Luna miss the power throw. Now Luna's in trouble. Sioka going to be dropping right here. Great response coming out by Justice League. Pebble still wants a kill, damn it, and he will still get a kill as a result. But yeah, big misplay in the beginning coming out. Definitely hurt them. Bottom tower also going to be going down in favor of Lion Esports Club, however. So,
yeah, this is the big thing is just that kill that Jonas and Luna were able to get up top, because now Jonas and Fan almost level 6, and Dampier's farm is really not where it should be in a total free farm lane. Nymphora also kind of suffering as well. So this is the strength right here of jungler versus no jungler. Actually, Scout Die is there as well. If they can just get rolling, as they are now, the tower gold is going to give Pebbles the steam boots. It'll give Jonas some fan farm. He has his bottle now. And they don't really need the gold as much, because now they can just team fight. And they're not in a position to team fight yet on Hellborn, because they just don't have the levels yet.
Yeah. So
and
the pressure...
Yeah, CD's huge, Pebbles is huge. It's definitely looking really good for Lions right now.
Yep. Middle lane, taking some good damage right here. It's going to stay out of deny range ultimately, but obviously very, very low. Oh, top lane, Jonas Fan able to shell surf this way, and actually will get away. So they tried to collapse on him, but I'm sure they'll take cover. As always, causing some issues right there. And he gets away, going back to pressure him 4. Actually, and he has a shell surf coming up in 2 seconds. There's the Calfield. Tilla's going to fall right here to auto attack. So the Calfield ends up being used. He gets a counter kill, and now he's going to roam away. So big mistake there on DCX side. Giving up a kill to the suicide bubbles like that. On the support. Now he's headed mid, so he won't have the kelp field, but he does have the shell shift there. Here comes a cut up for Pebbles. Torture in trouble. Quake's not going to be coming out right there, but Bubbles goes over the shell surf. The Moraxis Matrix is going to be used right there. Not nearly enough, though. Torture falls, and here comes Corrupted Disciple as well. Conduit being channeled. Moraxis with that ultimate up. There's the explosion. Here come the auto attacks. Conduit up to 8 charges now. He uses a poor man's portal key. Nice. Quake's done. Not going to matter, though. Corrupted Disciple has 9 charges. He's hitting for 261. Maximum damage, and that showed right there. Lion Esports Club building up nicely.
Yeah, and that's going to be game, pretty much. There's just no recovering now. Yes, Ember Boy has got his apprentice robe, but it's not a Grimoire, so...
No, it's
it's
not.
just this is what happens when you run this kind of lineup and you get run over, because Dampier is not leaving his lane until about 11 to 13 minutes. And if you can't not feed, you're going to lose by default when you run these kind of lineups. Pebble's going to have his portal key soon. Hanskin's recovered nicely. He still is working without 2 camps, but like he's 0-0-0. So actually, I don't know. It's not that he's recovered even. It's just they're just winning lanes in these little skirmishes. And there's another one.
Yeah, you see right there. Easy kill on a Torture. Moraxis is going to say, hey, that wasn't nice, but obviously Pebbles and Luna don't care.
It all starts with that first tower bottom. It just gives so much gold to the team. It, in essence, handed Pebbles Steam Boots, and it handed Bubbles his bottle. So, I mean, they just get just more kills. Dampier's going in. He's going to get ulted, and Invis Tempest here as well.
Yeah, this could be a backfire right here for the Hellborn team. Shell Shift through Song. There's the Tempest ultimate that catches both. Will they have the damage output? In 4, definitely. Maybe not Dampier, though. Stuns on Dampier. He goes in with a flag, going for the kill, and Bubbles will get the kill, and ends up being a 1-for-1. So still working out in favor of DCX right here. And I think that should be the end. He's still chasing. He has Torture coming in. Nope. Even with the ultimate, yeah, at least life steals, but not enough for the counter kill. But Elemental Void was used. Ends up being a 1-for-1 again in their favor for Justice League. So that's happy news at least for them with the way this game has been going. Good attempt by by Lions, but as I say that, Imba Boy, he eventually does get dove on. Hastron once again on Pebbles.
And that's the only hope for them is that Dampier. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a concede come out. And this is just the power of this kind of lineup. Like Tempest didn't really do much, but you know, Scout can't anti-push against Tempest CD, so that's the tower. And from there, you know, they get a couple kills. Bubbles is one of those heroes that doesn't really need much, but you know, level 6, level 7, and a bottle and boots, and he's good to go. So it just the heroes and DCX just needed a lot more time to gain strength, and they didn't get it. So Lions looks to run away with this one.
Yeah, for sure. It's 11 minutes into this game right now. Yeah, again, Lions. Obviously, we were talking about a very similar thing last game, but at the same time, not really. I mean, it was definitely a little bit different last game. So this time, I think Lions is even more ahead, it's safe to say, than the last game, despite that one going 76 minutes or whatever. So it could, you know, be definitely a completely different spectrum of a game, but obviously, you still got to continue. Scout goes down once again. Corrupted Disciple. Man, he is just owning that bottom lane, absolutely. If it wasn't already, definitely now. 465 gold per minute. He's also close to level 11. He's got the Energizer Steam Boots. He has another 1,500 gold on top of that. He won't even need to go for a Shrunken Head. I'm sure straight Firebrand here is more than likely going to be the case. As there goes the bottom tower. As Portal Key just picked up by Pebbles as well. So again, everything is just connecting here for Lions. Definitely a different game, and you can tell for them here in game number 2. So yeah, game number 3, it's almost inevitable at this point. It really does feel like. And yeah, hey, calling games so early as a caster, but yeah, it just seems like Justice League didn't work out. Didn't work out this game. Like I said, if anything, leaning back on Dampier, has the light brand. So long way to go.
Not enough, unfortunately. And this is the issue as well with Moraxis, and one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of the hero. I don't know, I didn't comment on it, but Pebbles was able to go just power supply early on. And you have a Boots power supply bottle against a Meraxis with Boots bottle,
Yeah.
the Pebbles lane's going to have a huge advantage because his main source of harass and just damage output is giving you free charges to your
Yeah.
Pebbles and Torch dead up here. But it's just a really tough lane, and I think the Pebbles lane wins most of the time. They also got ganks, and they also got a couple runes. And if you're going to run this kind of lineup, you need to make sure you control runes, and DCX didn't do that, and they're not going to win. But it was an admirable attempt, but it's so hard to pull off this lineup. And while I'm a big fan of Dampier now, and a lot of other teams are, but
Yeah.
you got to play better than the team with the jungler if you want to win, and they didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Dampier, he's the carry presence of Dampier is absolutely ludicrous, as we've seen recently. So, yeah, again, going into the game, we even called it that both teams definitely picked very well in the end. It's just a matter of execution, and obviously the execution factor has gone definitely in favor of Lanny's pretty much all across the board. There hasn't been anything that's gone that well for DCX in the end. You see Scout down here just running in circles. Zane's like, not much else I can do, I guess. Just going to run in circles, try to make it more difficult on you. But 2,600 gold now on Corrupted Disciple. So again, he's just pulling up quite an unnecessary amount at this point. But 13.5 minutes in, it's probably just looking at that clock once again before it all takes place and we move on to that third game. But 1,800 gold now on Dampier, so
They probably don't feel that far behind,
Yeah.
but they are. It just doesn't. Normally, it's telling when the second tier tower goes down the short lane, one team's got a pretty definitive advantage. And it's so early. Meraxis is probably going to die mid. You see Super KG running around to set up. There's the stun. He's going to toss back. We're going to power throw. Goodbye.
Matrax! OP! Nope, not OP enough. He does fall, so the execution there once again. They're pushing the middle lane. I think that great announcer voice just said it best right there. It is indeed a massacre coming out. Pebbles jumping in on a Torture, Torture into the next victim. In just this onslaught here of Lion Esports Club. So it looks like, again, game number 3. And hey, nothing wrong with that. That's obviously what was just like an unbelievable game number 1, really, here in this great series. And with so much on the line, going to those group stages, $20,000 prize pool, why not have a game 3? So.
And Nymph just hit 6, and this would be the timing to, take back the game, but the game's over at this point. If they could, and this is the thing of the strength of the lineup, if they just stay alive a little bit, like they win the game here. Oh, double kill.
Oh, yeah, that was perfect setup for Pebbles right there. Dampier and Nymph were right on top of each other. There you go, GG's being called. As expected, 15-minute concede victory in favor of Lion Esports Club. So talk about a completely different spectrum. 70-plus minute game 1, a drama, crazy finish. Game number 2, Lions like, all right, let's just move to game 3. Might as well just move on. They just take it to DCX that game. So.
And honestly, I kind of feel like they're gonna take game 3 too. Mostly, they're just the better team. I think they were the better team in both games thus far, but we'll see what happens. Like, DCX might have something up their sleeve. We'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see. We'll see what Lion Esports Club, if that continues. Again, I definitely lean towards what you said, but hey, in the end, DCX, they played very well game 1 at points, definitely. And again, definitely this last weekend even, or I should say in Hunter Cycle 3, they definitely came on strong for that cycle. So who knows? Who knows?